Hello horror fans and welcome to another strangely awesome video. So Halloween is nearly upon us, and as we've been rewatching our favorite scary movies this spooky season, what's really stood out to us is the genre's iconic villains. From classic monsters to contemporary killers who are sure to become cult classics, here are our picks for the top 10 best horror villains of all time. Coming in at number 10, we have Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Leatherface doesn't talk much besides some guttural groans, so it's really character design and physicality which make him a terrifying villain. Leatherface is a chainsaw-wielding, cannibalistic killer with a massive imposing figure, impressive strength, and a disgusting mask made of human skin. Instantly recognizable, Leatherface is one of the earliest icons of horror and is still unsettling to watch 50 years out from the release of the original. Our number 9 spot is an absolute classic character who goes by several names. Whether you choose to call him Dracula or Nosferatu, this Transylvanian vampire is one of the original horror villains. From the original Bram Stoker novel from the 1890s to the upcoming Nosferatu from Robert Eggers, this horror icon has been a mainstay for over a century. The original Nosferatu from the 1922 silent film is still frightening. However, the best iteration of the character is hands down Bela Lugosi's turn in Universal's 1931 Dracula. He brings a certain gentlemanly swagger to the character, as well as some great theatrics which give the vampire some campy appeal to modern viewers. And fun fact for all you baby bats out there, Bela Lugosi's Dracula actually inspired the debut single for the rock band Bauhaus, which is largely considered the birth of goth music and culture. So that being said, there are so many other iconic performances of the vampire from over a century of cinema history, so let us know your favorite in the comments below. Our number 8 pick is Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger is no doubt one of the most iconic slashers of all time. Debuting in Wes Craven's original A Nightmare on Elm Street, Krueger is a supernatural serial killer who targets children. This evil spirit gets his victims by attacking them in their dreams with a bladed glove. So if Freddy catches you in your nightmares, you're gonna die in real life, meaning the only way you can stay safe is to not fall asleep. The thought of having to force yourself to stay awake and alert in such a dangerous situation is absolutely terrifying, leading to some really frightening psychological horror. And this element is what makes A Nightmare on Elm Street ahead of other slashers from the 1980s. And all that is yet to mention the iconic design of the character, with his striped sweater and hauntingly disfigured face, which shows off some really incredible practical effects and makeup work. He's also got a bit of an odd sense of humor to him, which makes it seem like he's just having a blast hunting his victims. Okay, so our next pick skips ahead several decades to celebrate a character that just debuted earlier this year. Longlegs. As the titular character in this recent horror film, Nicolas Cage delivers the performance of his lifetime with an incredible instant icon among famous fictional killers. Longlegs is meticulous in his mysterious killings, and unraveling his plot throughout the movie is what makes it one of my favorite movies of the year. Longlegs is deeply unsettling, with an eerie, unforgettable voice and appearance. While much of the movie he stays hidden, the few good looks we get at the character are absolutely haunting. Time will tell what the legacy of the character is and how much his impact lasts, but right now he definitely deserves a place among the best horror villains of all time. For more on Longlegs, check out our video review linked in the description below. Coming in at our number 6 spot, we have one of the most iconic characters from Stephen King's massive library of horror. This is Pennywise. While Tim Curry's portrayal of the killer clown from the 1990 version of It is still a classic, it's Bill Skarsgård's turn as Pennywise that's among the upper echelon of horror movie villains. So let's face it, clowns in general, freaky as hell. That being said, Pennywise is hands down the scariest of them all. With an incredible look and voice, the character has stayed in fans' minds for half a decade since the It duology concluded. And it's because the performance is downright unnerving, but it still has some fun, campy moments like his odd dancing and some great one-liners. Even still, I haven't been able to look at a red balloon or a storm drain without shuddering since It came out back in 2017. Our number 5 pick is none other than the face of Halloween himself, Michael Myers. With over a dozen movies in nearly 50 years, Michael Myers has stayed iconic for nearly half a century. So Michael Myers is instantly recognizable thanks to his eerie mask with a blank facial expression. He's a large, imposing character and perhaps the coldest and most vicious of all the classic horror slashers. Michael Myers has practically superhuman strength and supernatural evil about him, and fans looking for more backstory of the character can find it in all sorts of prequels and reboots which re-envision the horror icon. Our next pick is another man behind a mask, or a woman? Or several people? That's right, it's Ghostface. What makes Ghostface so unique is that it isn't just a single character. Rather, anyone can wear the mask, and it's always going to be someone you know. So Ghostface is essentially a moniker picked up by all sorts of deranged killers. While the motive and cast members behind the mask are different in every Scream movie, there's a couple constants. First up, the iconic design. Everyone knows the Scream mask, and you'd be hard-pressed to walk into a Spirit Halloween and not find the mask for sale. This is made all the better by the fact that in-universe, the original Ghostface was just a generic Halloween costume, too, which made it really hard for the cops to track down the killer's identity. So Ghostface is always absolutely ruthless, guaranteeing every Scream movie has tons of iconic, unforgettable kills. Roger L. Jackson also delivers a killer voice acting performance as Ghostface across the franchise, with vicious line deliveries and some iconic quotables. Now, before we get to our top 3, we wanted to take a moment to remind you that Strangely Awesome is an independently owned small business where we cover movies, TV, and video games. If you want to support us, good news, you already are by watching our videos. However, if you really like what we do and want to go an extra mile, give us a like, subscribe, or become a channel member, and it would mean the world to us and help our team a ton. Now back to the video. So getting our bronze medal here is yet another Stephen King creation. Jack Torrance from The Shining is no doubt one of the best horror villains of all time. And that's because Jack Nicholson does an excellent job depicting a charismatic man with something sinister under the surface, and watching him go absolutely mad in isolation is terrifying but a joy to watch. With a distinct personality and so many iconic lines and moments, what makes Jack Torrance truly terrifying is the family dynamic at play here. His alcoholism and isolation form the perfect storm to make him go full killer in the third act, and poses the question of what would happen if a man who's supposed to protect his family became obsessed with killing them. It is really unsettling stuff, and the character explores some really terrifying themes and asks some really uncomfortable questions about the nature of man and the structure of an American family. So our runner-up pick isn't just one single character. Sometimes it is, but other times it's hundreds or thousands, or in the case of a full-scale apocalypse, it could be billions. And even after all this time and perhaps their overabundance in the horror genre, I'm still freaked out by zombies. From the Shamblers in the original George Romero films to the fast-moving freaks in newer movies like World War Z, zombies are still the scariest horror movie monster because there's just always so many of them. Combine that with the incredible gore they allow for, and how early days of an outbreak can play off our paranoia around nasty viruses, and zombies are still some of the best that horror can offer. Zombie movies are practically a genre in and of themselves at this point, and have spawned some of our favorite TV shows and video games as well. The Walking Dead and Call of Duty Black Ops zombies are staff favorites here at Strangely Awesome. So if you share our love for zombies, subscribe to the channel and head to our website at strangelyawesomegames.com for Walking Dead thoughts and all sorts of coverage on the zombies mode coming in Black Ops 6. And our pick for the best, most terrifying, and downright iconic horror villain of all time is none other than Hannibal Lecter. Played by Anthony Hopkins most famously in Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal the Cannibal is a serial killer who has a penchant for using his victims' remains to make eloquent meals. This former psychiatrist knows how to get into people's heads and is an absolute master of manipulation. His most terrifying ability is to reveal that he knows things about you even if you try your best to hide them, and he will use them against you. In Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins gets to shine as a genuinely intellectual, a manipulative sociopath, and a brutal killer who makes some unforgettable art of his victims. The absolute layers of this character are just insane, and seeing how much he can do to manipulate and cause harm from within the confines of a maximum security prison makes it all the more terrifying to think of what he could do if he ever got free, which fans do get to see in later, albeit lesser, movies. And those are our picks for the top 10 best horror villains of all time. Let us know your thoughts on our list, and if you disagree with ours, give us yours in the comments below.